Yo, what is good, my anniversary? What is good, yo? The eighth sun has come to an end of its season, and I'm gonna say it. I don't really have anything to hold back or to be lying about, but the ending was mad lackluster. Unfor- Unfortunately, um, they could have did way better with the final fight, but it feels like they were just like, you know what, let's just get this thing over with, and let's not put too much work into this one fight that we have already put a good amount of work into. Let's just call it. um, because as we see in the opener, which I didn't watch into the final episode, just to see if they've already done all the things that were in there. But it looks like the big monster at the very end of it was the older brother, Kirk, and the battle ended within like a matter of moments, man. It was kind of lame, but at the same time, it just feels like everything we learned about the characters in this show kind of just falls flat when there wasn't really much development to be had here. And I think that was done purposely because not only did we get a full like recap of every single thing that had happened up to this point when it comes down to the show, pretty much just telling us like, hey, we we started you with him as an older person, and now we're gonna end it with him at that age and right where we started you off, which was smart on their part in the grand scheme of if they're actually going to do more. Um, which I mean, I don't even know if some people want to see more seasons from this show after that season finale, and a lot of the last battles in the show were kind of lackluster. But here's my thing: with what's going on in the world and what's been happening for quite some time, I'm just surprised these guys never ever took a break. They hit every single week with their episodes, and they didn't know what stop was, right? So I got to give them props for being consistent and actually getting it all done when more people really could not, right? We know for a fact a lot of people wanted to get a lot of shows out, but just couldn't simply because of what was happening and how much it would uh, cost the people that are working there to deal with and whatnot. So this is a good indicator of what it might look like for shows that just might keep pushing on and trying to get stuff done, even though they know themselves they don't have like all the people they would want working on it as frequently, and they still pretty much do it, right? So it was still it's still interesting to see it get done at the end of the day. So other than that, the whole entire show kind of hinged on the nobles and that storyline actually being like interesting, which is kind of crazy because a show that has someone reincarnated has him ridiculously strong after he did his little training montage, which he never trained again besides with that magician guy who supposedly was supposed to be teaching him hand-to-hand combat, which we never got to see any labors of that, which he probably didn't learn much actual hand to hand. He probably just learned more control of his magic and has a better lock on it because even after extending the purification, he was nowhere near as drained as he was the first time as doing it inside the dungeon or what the ancient tomb, whatever you want to call it. Um, so that was a showcase of just how much control he's gotten over the time, but at the same time, it was also showcasing that he's still heavily only relying on magic compared to dropping. dropping people with his fisticuffs, right? So it's interesting overall as a show, but I really do think it fell very, very short of my expectations, which is fine. I mean, I don't expect every show in the world to live up to my expectations, so that's not the problem here. The problem is I, in my head, saw maybe this dragon flu being something much more dangerous, while it just kind of turned out to be something that was just happening and was handled relatively quickly. Actually, not just relatively quickly, ridiculously quickly. It was over at the same time it popped up, man. So, pretty rough ending and a slow going show, but like I said, it feels like they potentially want to do another season. It just comes down to what audience actually want to see it after how they handled this season. And I think it would be more interesting than the first season because the first season had the whole plot point of filling in the gap of the childhood and giving us reason why he wants to be better than the people that were already above him and showing us the corruption inside the Capitol. All this different stuff was showcased, so they probably don't have to do it again, you know? So that's my problem with it is we really probably just got stuff we needed to see to overall flesh out the world and what people would be like, because all of a sudden we might just see people showing up in front of this character uh, trying to gain all the power that he owns, but using some magical item that he shouldn't be able to obtain over time, and then end up losing his life trying to do bad to anybody these characters know or whatever the case may be. It's just hard to sit here and say, "Oh man, this show is amazing," or it has the potential to be one of the best shows, when really it felt safe. I guess you can say, like, it felt like they did the bare minimum, and after they did that bare minimum, they're like, okay, well, now we can just ride off into the sunset and uh, not really worry about anything else until maybe we get a second season where we start talking about even more dungeons and more dragons and more monsters and different corrupt people. But for now, we did everything we were set out to do. Let's get out of here. It felt safe and rush. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe they didn't have people working as much as I was just saying, and thanks to everything going on, and somehow they still managed to finish it. The dips in quality didn't change. It's just the storytelling might have always been like this from the source material, and there wasn't really much they can do in the beginning of the show until maybe the second half kicks off. So I don't know. I'm just a guessing man, and I honestly did enjoy most of it. Like, I looked forward to seeing what was going to happen, but knowing that that's all we're getting for a while, it's kind of bittersweet. So, like I said, I have no reason to be like, oh my god, it was the best show ever, because I won't benefit it for myself, right? Like, me telling you something I actually don't believe won't benefit me, and that's how I see things. So anything you hear me talking up a lot and enjoying, I really did enjoy it at those times, but knowing that an end is inevitable, and if that end actually lines up with my thoughts and my enjoyment that I've had over the whole entire time, the span of watching, then I'm gonna tell you it's an amazing show. But if there's only a couple good episodes here and there, it's gonna be just like this show where I thought it was gonna be a lot better than they actually showcased, and that just wasn't the case. So it's whatever, whatevs. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. Yeah, boy, gotta get to work, but as we just saw, we could be looking at some really cool stuff coming in the future. All these different trailers and all these different announcement animes coming out. Plus, places are reopening, so it just leaves a lot more position for people to uh, not have to worry about delays and whatnot or postponage if everything starts turning back to normal. So I hope that is the case, and I hope you guys are doing all right. And I will definitely talk to you guys soon. I won't be using Last of Us 2 playing in the background of my videos, so you don't have to worry about that. But I do plan on streaming it on Twitch if you guys are interested in talking during that. So, with all that being said, take care, everybody, and peace.